Hey everyone, Jake here for American Trucks, and in this video we're taking a look at the Raxium Axial Series LED fog lights with daytime running lights fitting 2013 to 2018 Ram 1500s. Whether your Ram came from the factory with fog lights or not, these units from Raxium are a fun, exciting way to add some extra style and lighting output to your truck. They'll not only get you that cool modern style, but they have big functional benefits, and they do it all for a pretty affordable price. Fog lights can play an important part in your lighting output, and if your truck either didn't have them for the factory or you just want an upgrade for your standard units, these might just be the ticket for you. Now the biggest difference here is right there in the name, that these are all LEDs versus the typical incandescent bulbs. So these are gonna throw a much brighter and cleaner light to cut through whatever you encounter. Now these ones in particular feature 6 lights inside, all of a similar ice cube style LED, with the largest and brightest ones being right here in the center, and 2 on either side, repeated top and bottom. So whether you're out on the street or the trail, you should have no issues seeing more of what's ahead much more clearly. These ones in particular also feature cool LED daytime running lights around the outer edges. It's a nice diffused white light that really just kind of ups the style game, and it gives the front end of your truck a clean, modern look. Really, they just bring a bit more visual interest. And those LED daytime running lights, plus the ice cube elements and the black housings, make these look a lot like the standard LED fogs that come on some newer trucks. So while the appearance may be a bit more subtle, the lighting output is anything but. Plus, these are also DOT and SAE compliant, meaning they're fully street legal. The housings here are comprised of ABS plastic, so they're strong and lightweight, while the lenses are the automotive standard polycarbonate. Now each one is of course weather sealed to keep out dirt and moisture from the sensitive. They're of course weather sealed to keep out dirt and moisture from harming the sensitive electronics, and they've got aluminum heat sinks on the back, plus some adjusters too, so you can get everything aimed properly and make sure they stay cool. Now since all of the lighting is taken care of by LEDs, they should also have a very long lifespan. Pricing comes in at about $200 for the set, which makes them a pretty affordable way to get a set of LED fogs on your truck. So if you want that increased lighting output and you want to keep your truck looking pretty close to factory, like that OEM plus type of look, these are going to get the job done without blowing out the budget. When it comes to installation, we're going to give these a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you about 2 hours to complete. Now it is rather straightforward, and good news for you is that if your truck already has factory fog lights, these are pre-wired, so it's going to save you a little bit of wiring. However, if you don't have factory fog lights, you've got a power and ground right here in the pigtail ready to go, and you've also got this other wire included with a spade connector on it, and more wiring, and more Scotch-Lock connectors. This is gonna be for your daytime running light. So if you wanna have that daytime running light function properly, where it comes on when you switch on the ignition and start the truck, you're gonna have to wire that up. Again, everything you need though is included, and it is a rather straightforward process, but you are gonna have to do a little bit of wiring. With that though, let's head into the shop and we'll walk you through the entire process.
The tools you'll need for this project are a ratchet, a 10mm socket, a trim panel removal tool, a test light, a pair of wire strippers and crimpers, a pair of pliers, and the supplied quick electrical connectors. Hi everyone, today we're installing a set of fog lights on our Ram, so let's get started with the uninstall. All right, first thing we've got to do is remove our stock fog lights here, and to do that we're going to have to remove the 3 10mm bolts from behind the fog light here, and we'll unplug the harness as well. Now, you can definitely do this on the ground. We've only got this up in the air so that we can give you a better view of exactly what you're going to be doing to get these fog lights out. So let's go ahead and get that done. First thing we're going to do is disconnect our wiring harness on the side, and to do that we're just going to lift up on the locking tab and slide it out. Then we've got 3 bolts, one here, one here, one there. We'll take our 10mm socket and remove those bolts. Now we'll get to one at the top. And once you've got the bolt out, just go ahead and slide the light straight back and drop it out. And now you can repeat that process for the other side. All right, before we install our fog light, there's a couple things we need to take care of. One, you'll notice on your lights, on the new lights, that this does have an extra pigtail harness attached to it. This is designed in case you do not have factory installed fog lights on your vehicle. Now, since we do have fog lights, we're not going to need this. But if you do not have fog lights, then you're going to need this, and you're going to have to add some additional wiring and a switch to actually activate the fog lights, but that's a whole nother video. So let's go ahead and we'll just take this off of our light and put that off to the side. Now, the other thing you'll notice on this harness on the light, that there is a white wire that has a spade bit attached to the end of it. That is so that we can attach this to our driving light harness so that we can activate the DRL on our fog light. Now, to do that, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to, one, determine which of the wires that we need to tap into in our factory harness, and then we're going to have to attach this quick connect that comes with the kit to that wire, and then attach this red wire that comes with the lights to this harness and to plug that into our light. So what we're going to do is we're just going to separate this a little bit to give us the room to squeeze it over the top of our wire. Now, like I said, we're going to pretend that this wire that I'm holding is actually the wire in the vehicle. So you're going to slide this outside edge of this quick connect over the wire, and then you're going to feed your wire that's included in the kit into the other side, like so. Once you get that in, then you're going to use a pair of pliers and squeeze down on the metal tab in the middle so that it pierces the insulation on both of the wires. Once you've got that done, go ahead and fold this over and lock it into place. Now, since we've made several modifications to our vehicle in the past, we're going to hook up our lights a little bit differently. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're just going to strip off about 1/4 inch off the end of this wire that's included in your kit and attach a spade bit to that and plug it into our harness. So we're going to take off about 1/4 inch, twist the end of the wire to keep it from fraying, and then insert a spade bit onto the end of the wire and crimp it down with our wire crimper. All right, and then just give it a quick tug, make sure that it's secure, and then we can go ahead and pull our headlight out so that we can attach this. All right, now we're going to go ahead and remove our radiator cover here so that we can access the 4 bolts for the grill, so we can actually remove our grill to get to our headlight. So we're going to remove all of our push pins at the top of our cover here, and then just lift this right off. Now we're going to go ahead and remove these 4 10mm bolts here at the top of the grill so that we can pull the grill out. Now with the 4 bolts removed, all we have to do is grab a hold of the front of our grill and pull it straight out. Now to release the back edge of the headlight, what we're going to have to do is access a release latch inside the fender well here. So we're going to use our trim removal tool to release the push pin that's holding this access panel into the fender liner. And once you've got the access panel open, you can reach inside and you'll be able to feel it. Unfortunately, we're unable to show that to you because there just isn't enough room. but you'll be able to feel it inside. And what you're going to do is just push up and release it, and that will release from the back of the headlight. Now we can use our 10mm socket to remove this upper and lower bolt here on the headlights and pull our headlight straight out. We'll pull our headlight out, and now we can go ahead and disconnect the harnesses by lifting up on the red locking tab and then pressing down on the release lever. And do the same thing for the parking light. Now, just as a point of clarification, what you're seeing right here, this white lever right here, this is what we use to detach the back of the headlight from the vehicle. So by pushing it up, it unlocks it. Pulling it down will lock the headlight in place. So now we need to determine which of the wires on our parking light harness is our power wire so that we can plug into it and attach our DRL from our new light. So to do that, now as you can see, we've got several connections already on our harness because we've done this a few times. But you won't have all this, so we'll show you how to determine which of the wires you need to tap into. So we've already turned on our parking lights on the vehicle. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our test light, connect it to ground, like so, and then we're going to use our probe into the end of our connector to find out when the light comes on in our test light. That'll tell us which one is our power, and that's the one we're going to tap into. So we're just going to put this on our first slot in our connector, and we don't have any light. Put it into the second one, and it lights up. And just to make sure, we'll test the third one, and that does not light up as well. So we know now that the center wire is what we're going to give to our power for our light. So looking at the back of our connector here, we see that it's this white wire in the center that we're going to go ahead and tap into. Now, as you can see, we've already got a connector on here, but this is where you would use the quick connector that's included in your kit and attach it to this wire. So now we're going to go ahead and plug our spade connector into that white wire, and then we'll feed the rest of it down back behind the bumper down to our fog light location. And now we can go ahead and reinstall our headlight. All right, now we'll go ahead and reconnect our harness to our headlight, making sure, of course, that we push down on the red tabs to lock it into place. Now we'll go ahead and reinstall our light using the original hardware. And we'll tighten them down with our 10mm socket. Now we can reach in to our access panel in the fender well, locate the plastic locking tab, slide it down, close up our access panel, and reinstall our push pin. And now you can repeat that whole process for the other side. All right, now we can go ahead and plug in our light to our factory harness, like so. And then we can attach the red wire that we just ran from our parking light harness into the white wire on the light, and go ahead and insert our light into position. All right, now we'll secure the light using the original hardware. And now we'll tighten them all down using our 10mm socket. And now you can repeat that process for the other side. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our grill. And secure it using the original hardware. Now we'll tighten it down with our 10mm socket. And finally, we'll reinstall our radiator cover. And we'll secure that with the original push pins. And that wraps up our review and install of the Raxium Axial Series LED fog lights with DRL for your 13 to 18 Ram 1500. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.